Welcome, Sacred Soul, to Maiden Mother Crone Tarot, where we hold sacred space for divine divergence. My name is Kaylin. I'm so glad you're here today. Our tarot topic is big emotions, sacred messages. So, what exactly are your emotions trying to tell you today? We're going to begin with a few oracle cards. Got Black Panther, reclaim your power. Maiden, what messages do you have for my collective on big emotions, sacred messages? What are their emotions trying to show them? How can they work through this emotional dysregulation, please? The Seven of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. What messages, please, Maiden, for our emotional dysregulation, for these big emotions? In my practice, I like to work with specific decks that I dedicate to the spiritual archetypes that I channel. Those decks were for the Maiden, these decks are for the Mother, and these decks are for the Crone. So, Mother, what information, what guidance can you give us today on when our emotions are too big, whenever we're overwhelmed, whenever we're dysregulated? What are these messages trying to come through? What are our emotions trying to tell us, please? And it's interesting, mushroom actually came out when I was doing my pre-shuffle before starting this reading. And in this deck, I'm going to shuffle off camera because of the art on the back. What messages, please, Mother? Okay, those, okay. And we have the Two of Wands on the bottom of the deck. And Crone, can you please give us final guidance today on what we should do when our emotions are too big, when we're dysregulated? What are the sacred messages that our emotions are trying to convey, please? And we have the Seven of Swords on the bottom of the deck. All right, guys, if you give me a minute, I'm going to get everything situated, and then we'll start the reading. cards are back. The first card we got was Panther Spirit. Reclaim your power. 44. That breaks down to an 8. We got Challenge. Unbearable situations throw you directly into God's arms if you are open. Please take over divine and guide the right actions. Please take this burden and show me your will. Doubt. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises, but you can say, free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. Self-sufficiency. The ultimate self-sufficiency is relying on God. It doesn't mean hiding in a cave and saying, I don't need people. Instead, it's saying, God is my source and I am willing to receive all the help, love, and support that wants to come. Ooh, okay, so those first 3 cards were from the Maiden. She also gave us the Page of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the 8 of Pentacles. Reclaim your power. I would definitely say whenever we're emotionally overwhelmed, whenever we are drowning on our feelings, and we don't know how to express ourselves, they definitely feel like unbearable situations here, these challenges. But if we're willing to surrender to them and feel them, then intuitively you know you need to wrap yourself in something deeper. You need to wrap yourself in the arms of God and the love of the universe and surrender to that chaos, to that wild, because you're protected. I heard someone, I don't remember who it was, they were on YouTube, and they said when the things are darkest in your life, they like to believe it's because your guardian angel has you wrapped in their wings. Encased in their wings, they're guarding you from the world. So how can we release the doubt that comes? A lot of times when we are in these emotional states, we doubt that anyone cares. We doubt that anyone loves us. We doubt that we're ever going to get out of that state. Our bodies are addicted to our emotions. And it's really interesting here that the Maiden, she's talking about emotions, but she's also talking about your mental state. If you're familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza, you know that he discusses how when you are in these negative states of life, when you're in these negative thought patterns, you have a thought that creates an emotion, which creates a feeling in your body, which creates even more thoughts. And it's just this endless loop. It goes round and round and round. So the Maiden with the Page of Swords is saying you have to be vigilant. You have to watch. Be the gatekeeper of your mind. And when these emotions rise up, yes, you can feel them the first time, but you can't stay in this endless loop. You can't let them run your life and keep you cycling through them over and over and over again, because you're just punishing your body at that point. Your body feels all of the same emotions over and over and over again, which leads to the Nine of Swords, this sleepless night. Spirit wants to come in here as the Knight of Wands, showing you that you can rely on Spirit to gain your passion again. You can rely on Spirit to gain your excitement again. You can rely on Spirit, this self-sufficiency. You can rely on Spirit to get you out of this pattern as long as you surrender and ask for help. Ask to be guided, and they will come. Your angels, your ancestors, the light. And while this is something that the Maiden definitely is saying you can do here, you can reclaim your power. She's also saying this is going to take time. This is going to take work. This is going to take diligence. 8 of Pentacles is all about hard work and working towards something. You don't give up. You keep going. You're chipping away at it bit by bit by bit. And maybe you also need to evaluate yourself while you're going through this reframe of your thoughts. Have you done a good job being the gatekeeper? I mentioned this in a previous reading. It's a really great exercise at the end of the evening, right before you go to bed, to just do a quick scan of your day. How did you stand up to it? Did you do okay? Did you manage those thoughts? It's actually surprising how many thoughts we have every day that are exactly the same. So if you can just do an exercise, I mentioned it in my book, where you write down your thoughts just for one day, and you begin to see those patterns emerging. You begin to see the things that come through. And a lot of times it's with relationship with others. You think the same things or project your own opinions about situations onto other people, when in reality, that's not the case at all. If we move on to what the mother has given us, with mushrooms here, recycling, breaking down problems. Your emotions are the first thing to tell you what your mental state is. Instead of recycling those same ideas over and over again, she's inviting you to look at them and the ones that do not serve you, that are keeping you in the loops of overwhelm, emotional overwhelm. Go ahead and compost them, break them down, put them in the garbage bin. With rain, cleansing, purification, hydration. Water symbolizes our emotions, our intuition, but it also symbolizes purification. You know, one of my favorite flowers to think of, the lotus, and how it grows up through the mud and the gunk and the junk at the bottom of the ponds. But it survives on top of the water, floating and being a pure and beautiful display for anyone around. With fruit here, achievement and success. And preserve, security, forethought, and thrift. The mother is inviting you to be really intentional. Forethought, thrift, that means you're planning for the bad days, right? How can you plan for these emotional overwhelmed days? How can you reach out to other people around you instead of being so self-sufficient, surrendering to God and saying, please help me. Ask your angels, ask your guides, ask your higher self so that you can achieve this achievement and success. The mother also gave us the world, which is all about completion of cycles, fulfillment. And again, we see the earth and we see this water. And I believe that's lotuses in the water, actually. She also gave us the Five of Cups. This is sadness and mourning. Are you in a cycle where you keep thinking or longing for the you that you used to be when you were innocent and carefree and not jaded by the world? You wish you could walk away from the pain that you're experiencing now and just return to that person, to that version of you who was wild and free and with the Two of Wands here, planning their life and excited about their life. But then we have the Two of Swords. And this suggests solitude, that you're avoiding those hard emotions, those hard conversations, because you feel like it's impossible to return back to this person that you were. And honestly, I would challenge you to say that that's not what you're meant to do anyway. If you can successfully work through these feelings of doubt, these feelings of overwhelm, learn how to recycle and compost the thoughts that don't serve you, and how you can plant seeds, words of truth and wisdom that can get you through this stage of your life, there's no reason for you to return to that person, because now you have the gained life experience of surviving, of going through these emotions successfully. And now you can be a light bearer, a torch bearer for other people going through these exact same difficulties. And that would be true achievement here, true success, when you've learned how to persevere, how to preserve your soul essence. Even though life has repeatedly disappointed you, given you heartbreak, given you reason to regret the decisions in your life, you had the courage to walk away here with the Eight of Cups, to return to yourself, to return home to yourself. And you can never cut out parts of who you are. Stop avoiding this. Your soul is longing for you to face these emotions, to surrender to them, and then allow them to pass. To no longer be ruled by them, to no longer be emotionally led every single day, to reclaim your power and have new beginnings. This is from the Crone. It landed right here on top of the Knight of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. The Crone is telling you this is not going to be an easy journey, okay? But if you're here, I know it's not been an easy journey. We've been shamed for our feelings our whole life. We've been shamed for our ability to sense the emotions of others, our energetic sensitivity. We've been told to repress them, to not show them, to not question, when our brains are designed to work completely different. The Crone has also given us the Moon, which is all about dreams, the unknown, the subconscious world. And that's why this mental work is so important. It's our subconscious beliefs about ourselves, about how the world works, that rule the thoughts in our head and dictate the thoughts that we have. The Crone is inviting you to do some shadow work here. And maybe you can work with the moon cycles, especially with the moons here. New moons are wonderful for starting new things, for committing to how you're going to show up in your life and what steps you're going to take, what inspired action with this Knight of Wands, what inspired action you're going to take to, with the Magician, manifest this new life, alchemize these emotions that are too big. A lot of times we don't think we have this doubt here. We don't think we have the skill, the ability to do that. But the Magician has the life experience. He has the tools and he has the knowledge to be able to perform any type of magic that's required. How can you root in to your feelings and root up to the divine? Surrender to that, but open up your crown chakra and invite the divine to help you navigate. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. Wow. Okay, so this deck actually has a couple of the cards. There's more than one interpretation, I think. 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords are the ones. I don't remember all of them. But we got both 3 of Swords here from the Crone. Interesting. I'm wondering if this has something to do with your divine feminine or your divine masculine. If one or both of them has been repressed in your life. And then she also gave us sexual energy. The sexual energy at its core is all about creation. It's also a form of self-expression, a form of vulnerability, and maybe have some type of unhealthy expression here where you use this as a coping mechanism to work through these emotions. Instead of feeling them, you numb the feelings through these encounters. But I really want you to realize how powerful that energy is. If you chose to use that energy to heal instead of just numb, you could be light years ahead because that energy is so powerful. Just think about what you're doing. You're creating a human life. I mean, maybe not, every time, but that is what it really is for. And so all of the passion, all of the vulnerability and surrender, how can you channel that energy to heal your divine feminine and your divine masculine? And what I feel like the Crone is saying here with this 7 of Swords is for you to be strategic about how you're using your energy. Back to this preserve, spending it all. Be thrifty with your energy and make sure you're investing in yourself first. Be open to receive healing from the divine. Don't isolate yourself and think that you are the only one that can do anything. You can also reach out to help, There's lots of counselors that you can reach out to. They even have, what was the name of that? When I was working with a therapist, I actually used an online BetterHelp. That's the name of it. BetterHelp, where you get to choose your own therapist based on what you're looking for, what you think you need. And if you don't really resonate with that therapist, they'll transition you to another one in their network. Instead of hiding away in the dark and saying you don't need people, how can you take inspired divine action and go seek the help that you need to be able to work through these emotions and reclaim your power? A lot of times we just need a safe place. Again, with this sexual energy, it reminds me of safety and vulnerability. A lot of times we just need a safe place to be able to feel our emotions. And a lot of times the people in our lives do not have the emotional intelligence or the experience to be able to offer that to us. So how can you go and find the place where you are allowed to feel these feelings so that you can complete this cycle, so you can crush this doubt, rise above these challenges, and learn that you can cleanse your energy, you can cleanse your emotions, you can feel free and purified. Find this aid and surrender and open and share and be vulnerable to work through these emotions. Your body's not trying to destroy yourself. Your emotions aren't trying to destroy you. They are just trying to show you what you're suppressing, where you're not using your voice to speak up for yourself, where you're not using your power, where you've hidden and enclosed your light instead of shining and being who you are because of being told you're too much in the world, where you've locked away the shame that you have stored because you compare yourself to others, where you've locked even yourself away from experiencing anything with others because it's easier to be alone than to put yourself out there and have that fear of rejection. What a beautiful message today. Sending love and light to anyone that is open to receive it. Thank you, Maiden, Mother, and Crone, for your divine guidance today. Thank you for holding sacred space for us. Thank you guys for being here today. Thank you for letting me tap into your energy. Thank you for listening to what I had to say. If this message resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. What is your next step? How are you going to take this inspired action to close this cycle so that you can have these new beginnings? If words are hard right now and you're still processing this message, just drop a Black Panther emoji in the comments or type, "I'm reclaiming my power." What a beautiful message. If you'd like to work with me individually or join the waitlist for my group coaching program, the information is going to be in the description box below. And I invite you to remember, come as you are and stay as you become. Bye, loves.